or two, but can you come talk about the difference in the Blue Cross Blue Shield plans and why you're recommending the one that we're going with?
You want me to do that? Okay. You want me up there?
No, this is fine. I was going to ask her to go to the podium. But.
Sure. Right, the two that we're looking at are called Blue Choice, which is the broadest network of providers, and the other is called Blue Options. Under Blue Options, you have access to what they call the Blue Preferred network of providers. So that's the main difference. In Seminole, as they pointed out, the Integris clinic and just about all of our local doctors are in the preferred network. So our premiums, and they also told us that if we prefer, and that's one thing that we have not quite decided on yet, we can actually offer both plans and let the employee pay the difference in the Blue Choice premiums if somebody's worried about not having enough providers in their network. So under the Blue Options, we think that will be fine for Seminole because it's basically the network that, as far as the prescription drug plan, the co-insurance, they're all at 80/20 on the co-insurance. The drug plan is the same. The copay is $20 for both plans.
Compare that to OMAG. What was it?
OMAG, we currently have a copay when we go to the doctor at $15, but that's going to $25. The co-insurance is 60/40, so the employee must pay 40%. So,
Jay,
that cuts that in half at 80/20.
on the options, and I'm speaking from experience because I have Blue Options.
Yes.
Personally, I'm not sure Integris didn't used to be. I'm pretty sure they didn't used to be on the 80/20. It was 70/30. When
Right.
you go with options, there are some of the hospitals, when you actually have a hospital stay, that are 70/30 instead of 80/20. Some
Okay.
are, you just have to research that in
Well, actually,
advance.
yes, they just gave us a new directory that listed Integris, but you are
It is
correct.
listed, yeah.
Right, we're still covered, but if we go outside of the preferred network, which is the 80/20, then we're covered at 70/30. That's still better than the 60/40 coverage
No,
under OMAG.
It's still better. I just wanted to point that out.
Correct.
That
No,
there are
you're
some
right about that,
hospitals where it's
absolutely.
not 80. And that's just the hospitals, because I can go to all the doctors on virtually the same plan here in
Right.
Seminole.
Right.
And
if that, as I said, as the administrators have told us, if we have employees that is a major concern, we can offer these plans side by side so that they have the broader network and they can pay the difference. And it's about $100 a month on average.
well, I can
per
say
employee.
that I personally had no real problems with the Blue Options myself.
That's good to hear.
And I think we've been on that with a couple of children that we've had.
Right. Well, this was not a plan we were considering, but when we look at the cost savings, because we're looking at around $100,000 a year, and that's on a conservative estimate, so we
Now, this
pretty much have to
also
look at it.
affects our retirees too, is that correct?
It does, and they have agreed. We have 5 retirees that are under our current OMAG plan, and they have agreed to take them as well.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, Jay?
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Terry Thomason,
Yes.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Evan Willingham,
Yes.
Gary Howe.
Yes.
Motion passes.
There was an addendum to 3A, consideration and possible action regarding accepting the Donald W. Reynolds Steering Committee recommendation to select Crossland Construction Company, Inc., as the successful firm to enter into construction management agreement phase, resulting from the request for qualifications phase. 9 construction managers responded to the request for proposals. Of those, 4 were interviewed and scored. Crossland Construction Company, Inc. was the highest scoring firm.
Okay. This is, as you will recall, we agreed to go out and ask for qualifications from various construction management firms. We had 9 that returned their qualifications to us. We reviewed it. Eventually, Reed Wood, who is our owner's agent on behalf of the Reynolds Foundation grant, he and Sharon interviewed 4. They scored those 4, and Crossland Construction Company, who has done, I don't know, I know they brought 7 awesome layouts of recent projects just almost exactly like this one that they have done. And if our project ends up anything like the ones that they've done in the past, in the recent past, we're going to end up with an excellent facility.
Where are they located?
They actually have offices in Oklahoma City, one in Tulsa. I think they're headquartered in Pittsburgh, Kansas, or somewhere in South Kansas.
Any other discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, Jay.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Terry Thomason.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Evelyn Willingham.
Yes.
Gary Houck.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Approvals and acceptances. Ordinances. 4. Consideration and possible action to approve ordinance number 1096, an ordinance amending the section pertaining to fees for senior citizens at Sportsman's Lake, as recommended by the Lake Development Commission.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call, Jay.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Dee Dee Patterson.
Yes.
Terry Thomason.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Evelyn Willingham.
Yes.
Gary Houck.
Yes.
Motion passes.
5. Consideration and possible action to approve ordinance number 1097, an ordinance regulating penalties for accumulation of weeds or trash and dangerous structures, as recommended by the Beautification Task Force.
Mr. Carter, I have a question on that.
Okay, I figured it was coming.
Walk me through the procedure. We give a citation first, and if they do not respond to that citation, do we give a second one before they go to court?
No. Basically, it's up to the discretion of the officer whether to give a warning or whether to just cite the individual. I think probably to explain this a little bit better for everyone, we need to go back 2 years ago and remember when we kind of brought ourselves up into the 21st century, we expanded our general penalties to conform to state law, which allows us to basically have a range of punishment for our general misdemeanors to be between $0 and $750. Plus up to 30 days in jail and up to 40 hours of community service. That was for just any general misdemeanor in the city. I'm going the long way about this. The Beautification Committee has met and discussed this several times, and I believe the consensus, and Dolores I think can chime in too, she's been sitting in on many of these things, and Chris, that maybe it is best to go ahead and set a minimum fine instead of leaving that up to the discretion of myself and the judge, and just to let everybody know that when you get a ticket for tall weeds and grass, automatically it's going to cost you a $200 fine and $44 court costs. And if you get a second violation, it's going to cost you a minimum of $300 and $44 court cost. Now that is on the first one. The second, that's just on the accumulation of tall weeds and grass. The second amendment, which is for dangerous structures, $200 is the minimum for a first-time offense, and $400 would be the minimum fine for a second offense. So, and then of course your jail time is doubled, and your community service would be doubled on second and subsequent offenses on that section. So,
And there's no exceptions to this.
well,
I
unless
question that because, you know, if someone is in the hospital or something, what do? We still fine.
you know,